contour your academic sources. For choosing academic sources, it can be pretty difficult because you might just be used to Googling something or looking it up on Wikipedia, but those are actually two things that I would advise not to do. I mean, obviously you can still Google, because Google has a lot of great sources and resources for you to use, but it's a little bit more work. Wikipedia, you can start off with to get like a foundation of the topic that you need to learn about, or if you need something defined more clearly than looking it up in Webster's or anything like that, then you can use Wikipedia, but I wouldn't rely on it for like valuable and secure information because it's publicly edited. A lot of your classes are going to recommend that you get peer-reviewed or peer-edited. So the first resource, since we go to ASU, we have our library and we have like the online lib.asu.edu resource. So if you go onto your MyASU account or just type in lib.asu.edu, you can go there and it'll automatically come with a search bar, and you can either do search all or you can specify it to like Google Scholar, I think it's databases, case law, things like that. And you can type in any topic that you want, and obviously it'll filter all these results and give you a bunch of articles that you can choose from. And after all of your results have been populated, you can look and there will be different options for you to be able to like do a more advanced search or a more refined search. So then on the left hand side, we've also decided to refine your results for scholarly and peer-reviewed stuff only. You can also look down underneath that and you can choose the content type, which is basically the media type. So the source that you want to get your information from. So if you want to do a book, that has then been transferred into like an electronic copy, ebooks, so books that have only been published for like internet or online use, articles, journals, all that kind of stuff. So if you're only allowed to use like a scholarly journal or a published journal, then you would click on that. If you want stuff from books and from articles, you can click on those two things, or if you want all, then just ignore this entire step. And then since you have an ASU account and you're looking at the library through ASU, you also have the ability to save all of the articles that you want to your account, which is really cool. So I would take advantage of that so you don't lose them or forget to bookmark them to your computer, or so you don't have to print everything out and waste paper. The second resource I would recommend for looking up scholarly and academic articles would be using Google Scholar. With Google Scholar, it's scholar.google.com, really basic, and with that it'll immediately take you to it'll look like a regular Google search bar, but it'll have a little bit more information at the top that lets you know that you're specifically searching for books or for articles. So when you search a specific topic with Google Scholar, let's say for example you're studying sustainability initiatives by Walmart, it'll give you articles, books, and websites that it feels are related to that topic that you're searching or viable for the topic that you're searching. What's cool about Google Scholar is that while some of the resources that it gives you might be outdated, you can now specify the time frame that you're searching for. So I know for certain professors, they require that their assignments, you use articles that are only 5 to 10 years old. So now you can specify, oh, I only want 2010 or 2011 and on, or you want only 2016. You can define the results like that. And what's also really cool about Google Scholar is under every single result that it populates, each article, it'll say like other related articles or other related sources, which is great because if you really like that article and you want other things that are similar to it, you can click on that and it'll populate results that way. You can look up citations that way. However, I would be careful with that because usually the citations are inaccurate because it'll just populate it itself and sometimes it could be wrong. So I wouldn't rely on that all the time. I would double check it first. Additionally, with Google Scholar, if you have a Gmail account, you can also do with what you did at the ASU library, you can save it to your Gmail account. And you can also create alerts. So if you like that topic and you want other articles related to that topic, you can create an alert so it'll send you emails every time something's published. My final pieces of advice: absolutely don't rely on Wikipedia. Don't use tabloid magazines ever, or like tabloid information. Don't use too old of information unless it's like theory or like philosophy, something that obviously is old that you're referring to. You can use that, but don't use like a newspaper article from your local newspaper from 1995. Try to avoid using editorial or op-ed pieces from a newspaper or an online resource because it has too much bias, so you're not going to get a very scholarly reading from that. Don't use websites like Reddit or The Onion because they, you know, half the time it's a joke, half the time it's, you know, it's publicly edited and authored information, so what do you trust? And then lastly, if it's too difficult for you to be able to cite the source, you probably shouldn't use it. If you can't find an author, you can't find a publication date, you can't find page numbers, anything like that, well, besides being a website. But if it's too difficult to cite, then it's probably not very accurate. Yeah, so that's about it. I wish I had my glasses on so that I could do that like trick where they like go up.
You could.
No.
Do you want them?
No.
I feel free. I feel like free to do what I want.
Like...
I'm like, hey, I'm the director. Go.
Okay, so. So with different content types. No. Results. I can see the little.
I'm sorry, that was me. That was 100% me. Okay, continue.
So then on the left hand, why am I blanking? What's another newspaper?
The New York Times. Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal.
I like that we've just had this whole discussion on camera.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. We can just keep talking and we can throw
Oh, I thought you were still working on the...
Mm-mm.
Oh, no? Okay.
It's just been a tight close-up on your face.